East side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the NETS Mets of New York. Oh, the butcher and the baker and the people on the streets, where do they go? To meet the Mets. Oh, they're hollering, they're cheering, and they're jumping in their seats. Where do they go? To meet the Mets. All the fans are true to the orange and blue. So hurry up and come on down, 'cause we got ourselves a ball from the Mets of New York town. Give 'em a yell, give 'em a hand, and let 'em know you're rooting and you stand. Come on and beat the Mets, beat the Mets. Step right up and meet the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life, because the Mets are really something to ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. The east side, west side, everybody's coming down to meet the NETS Mets of New York. Of New York.
Hey there, everybody. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to another presentation of our 2019 replay. And we are using Payoff Pitch for this replay. I actually used the PDFs. I own the card set, but I just did not want to get them out and put them all in order and so forth. So I said it's probably easier just to print out the PDFs for the teams I need. And that's what we're doing. So it's Atlanta visiting New York, and it's the top of the fourth inning. It's 2-0. It's Jacob deGrom against Mike Foltynewicz, and we are right about to get started, just getting the crowd into the game. And let me go quickly over the lineup for the Atlanta Braves. It's going to be Acuna leading off. Albies at second base, batting second. Batting third is Freddie Freeman. The cleanup batter is Josh Donaldson, the third baseman. Batting fifth is Matt Joyce, the right fielder. Batting sixth is the ex-Met Adeiny Echevarria, the shortstop. Batting seventh is Ortega, the left fielder. Batting eighth is Alex Jackson, the catcher. And batting ninth is Mike Foltynewicz. And right about to get started. It's 2-0, and it's going to be Adeiny Echevarria against deGrom. We're using the fast action cards. We may throw a couple of dice, I don't know. But I was looking at the heritage set that I picked up, and this is a reproduction of the 1970 baseball season. The 1970 baseball season, I believe, was the last year that they did the portrait style cards with no action pictures, just the portraits. Players posing. Here I have Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson, Mike Foltynewicz, and I have Jesse Biddle. I haven't gone through all of them, and I don't own all of them. I own about 200. They're called the Heritage set. It's a specialty set that was put out by Topps 2019, so this is more representative of the 2018 season. And let's go. So I just, my fourth thing, I did a shuffle, and we're going to pull it. Here's Jacob deGrom's pitch. It's a 6. That's a patient. So Adeiny Echevarria shows some patience, see if it pays off, and it does. That's ball 4. So Echevarria takes the count to 3-2, and then deGrom just misses, and that sends Echevarria to first. So there's a runner. A leadoff runner is on at first. Next is the lefty hitting Ortega. Rafael Ortega with a 12. That's going to be a defense. And a defense 27, most likely it's going to be something. And an error third base. Our third baseman is Guillorme, and he's I believe I looked at that, and he is a 4 error rating. A 4 error rating is going to be 1 to 40 is an error. And what did we pull? We pulled a 27. So that's going to be an error. What type of error on Guillorme? It's going to be a little ground ball that he bobbles and no throw. So everybody is safe. And on the scoreboard, what do you see? You see a big E5, excuse me. First and second. Nobody out. Alex Jackson. Pitch from Jackson. 2, that's wheelhouse. And an 80. That is a ground ball to the shortstop. A 12 will be only one play, and that's going to be the first. So both runners move up. Pitcher spot, Fultonevich. The Mets are going to play the infield in 3, and that's a tough 15. Strike 3, and deGrom blows a fastball by Fultonevich with 2 outs now. It's Ronnie Acuna Jr. Here's a pitch. It's a 7. That's in play. In play 24 is lined, and it is popped up. That's foul. Next pitch is popped up to the catcher, Nito. Flips his mask away, and that retires the side. Wow. deGrom barely got out of that one without giving up another run. It's 2-0 Braves. Bottom of the 4th, Pete Alonso leading it off against Fultonevich. Here's the pitch, 7. That's a tough 17 is a strikeout. 1 up, 1 down. It's a 5. That's in play. In play 39 on Michael Conforto's card. And that's grounded to the first baseman, Freeman, who flips to Fultonevich for a 3-1 put out. 2 out. Wilson Ramos was a 3. That's a tough 79. And that is grounded to shortstop. Echeverria in the hole. Long throw to first, and in time to get. That was. Let me see. Wait a second. Hold on. Let me go back. It was Michael Conforto, and then it should be J.D. Davis now. J.D. Davis, and then Guillorme. There's no Ramos in this one. Okay, so it's, what did we say it was? It was a 3, which was tough, 79 on J.D. Davis's card. It's a fly to center, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. We go to top of the 5th, 2-0 Braves. Here's the pitch to Ozzie Albies. That's a 10. That's a tough 83. That's chopped to second. Panic. Charges. Sidearms it to first. 1 away. Freddie Freeman is next. 11 is a tough 87, and that is ripped to second base. Scooped by Panic. Over to first. 2 out. 2 up, 2 down for deGrom here in the top of the 5th. It's an 11, another tough 28, and that's a strikeout. Josh Donaldson down swinging. 3 up, 3 down for Jacob deGrom. We go to the bottom of the 5th. See what the Mets, if the Mets can get there. See if the Mets can get their Rosario. See if the Mets can get their offense going. So Guillorme is leading it off. He's a left-handed batter. That's a 6. Again, a tough 39. That's a strikeout. So 1 up, 1 down. Juan Lagares is next. With a 4, a patient 74. That's lifted to center. Can of corn for Acuna. Squeezes it for the out. Thomas Nito with a 5. A 5 is in play, a 47. And that is a fly ball right field. Joyce towards the line. Makes the catch, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. deGrom becomes tired in the 6th, and this is the 6th. Now, he's only allowed 2 runs, so he only becomes fatigued if he allows 3 runs or more. So he can still hold on to his card. Both pitchers are the same. All right. That's a 7 in play, 60. And that is ripped to the shortstop, Rosario. Scoops it, throws the first. 1 away. Joyce is retired. Adeiny Echeverria. On a 6, that's a patient 20's ball 4. So that's a second consecutive walk to Adeiny. He's on at first. Here's Ortega with a 4. That's a ballpark, a 51. He's a lefty. And that's going to be a deep drive. Is a 1-25, and that's a 96. That is lifted deep right field. Back goes Conforto to the track and makes the catch on the warning track. So Rafael Ortega gave it a ride, but just didn't have the carry. And it's Alex Johnson with a 5. It's a tough 93. And that's going to be a fly ball left field. J.D. Davis Out number 3. Retires the side. All right. It's going to be deGrom leading off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 2-0. Atlanta. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Playing a little payoff pitch baseball. We're playing modern 2019. This 2019 will probably be good for 2 years, 2019 and 2020, because it looks doubtful that we'll see any 2020 baseball. And who wants to watch 50 games anyway? Half the batters would be hitting 400. The other half would be hitting 100. Pitchers would have a 10 ERA, and then the other half would have a 0 ERA. All right, bottom of the 6th. Let's see if the Mets can get something going. It would be nice to bring a pinch hitter in here, but in the bottom of the 6th, I'm just not going to do it. Just a little bit too early for me to do that. Let's see if Jacob deGrom can get something going. Tough 94, and that is a fly ball to left. 1 away. Didn't want to start bringing in pinch hitters so soon. 4, Patient 98, and that is a fly again to left field. 2 out. And Joe Panic with a 7. That's a tough 16. That's strike 3, and that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down. Once again, the Mets bats have gone silent. Hey, Tribe fan. 2 more days until 2 weeks off. It's hump day. It is Wednesday. 2 weeks off. Okay, you're going to have 2 weeks off. Good for you. Happy for you. You'll have a lot of time to roll some dice. That's what I'm doing. I have about 6 weeks off, and I'm rolling every day. And even when I was working from home. Half the day I was rolling. All right, top of the 7th. So it is that time where we shuffle. We do the shuffle. I have another deck of cards. I hear he's updated his fast action cards. They're in color now, and I believe maybe he's enlarged the font a little bit. I'm not sure. He's been doing that a lot lately because he's complained that he's struggling to see. And I don't blame him. These cards are real super tiny. The outs, the thing that happens the most, like 70% of the time, is really, really, really small. And this whole area here is blank. So I don't understand that. So, and this, look how much space these 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 numbers and letters take up. They take up almost 1/6 of the card. Design is not thought out. Okay, it's not thought out properly. I try to make suggestions and recommendations on how you could approach it. The things you use all the time get enlarged. The things you barely use, they can be smaller. He leaves a lot of space here in case guys play 10 positions. So he wants to list them all. But if they play first base 150 games, they play second base 1 game, third base 1 game, those positions can be really small because you're never going to use them anyway, so who really cares? The one you want large is the one where he plays 150 games. So you don't need this to take up a lot of space. All right? And these are and all this, look how much space that takes. How often do you look at, the sacrifice bunt? Maybe once a game? Well, with Alonso, I'll never look at sacrifice bunt. So why is that large? Why is that taking up all that space? It doesn't make sense. So anyway, those are just my observations on the cards and changes that can be made on the cards. So you can use a larger font and they can be read a little bit easier. All right, that's about it. I'm gonna cut, and it's gonna be Fultonevich, the pitcher, here in the top of the 7th. Here's a pitch from deGrom. That's a 7. That's in play, an in play 55, and that is popped up right side. First baseman Alonso, he's there, makes the catch. 1 away. Top of the order. Here comes Ronald Acuna Jr. That's a 12, a defense, and a defense 34. And that's going to be range center fielder. Lagares is in center. And Lagares' range is a C. It's 1 to 40. 1 to 45 is going to be a hit. And we rolled what? We rolled a 34. So that's going to drop in there. Now, is it going to be a single or a double? That's the question. And it's going to be a single. So Acuna, little flare that drops in front of Lagares. Looked like he was going to get to it, but in the end, backed off. And it's one out and one on. Acuna is always a threat to steal. He had 37 stolen bases. He's a run rating of a 5 steal. And we pulled a 5, so there goes Acuna. The throw down from Nito. And, oh, this is a whole freaking thing. I hate this card because you can't read what it says. Previous 1-3 out. Check runner for safe. Oh, okay. You got to pull a card. 1 to 3, he's out. 4 to 6. Let me see if that's over here. Yeah, I can't make this out. It says 1 to 3 equals out. Check runner for injury. Then 5 equals safe. Check. It looks like it's check infielder for injury. See above. What happens with 4 and what happens with 6? Because here I just see. Oh, that's a 6. Okay, it must say 4 to 6 safe. So let's pull a card. 4 to 6 is safe. He's out. And check somebody for injury, but I don't play injuries, so I'm not going to worry about it. And with a lefty up, it's going to be a 2-6 caught stealing. 2 outs, and Albies is up. Ozzie Albies. Pitch from deGrom is a 10. That's a tough 14. Strike 3, and that retires the side. Let me take a quick peek at how many strikeouts. Foltynewicz has 4 strikeouts. deGrom has 9 strikeouts. It's going to be Pete Alonso leading it off here in the bottom of the 7th. These are probably the last 2 innings our starters are going to go. I may let Foltynewicz, since he does have a shutout going. A 1-hitter, by the way. Mets have really struggled. RJL showed the new. Yeah, I saw that. RJL did show that. All right, here goes. Pete Alonso. That's a 10. The 10 is in play. In play 64. And that's a slow roller to Albies, who at second, who charges over to first and in time to get Alonso. 4 is patient, a patient 60, and that's ball 4 to Michael Conforto. He walks. So the tying run is at the plate, and J.D. Davis. That's a 7. 7 is a tough 54, and that's line base hit center field, played on a hop. Let's see where Conforto goes. Conforto will hustle over to third base. First and third, Mets are threatening here. It's 2-0 Atlanta. Bottom of the 7th, Mets have first and third with only 1 out. Luis Guillorme. Here's the pitch, 7. Tough, a tough 81. Tough 81 is going to be grounded to second base. This may turn into a double play, and a 2 will be a 6-4, a 4-6-3 double play. And that retires the side. So Mets had something going there for a split second. 4-6-3 double play, retires the side. Freddie Freeman. 8th inning for Jacob deGrom. Here's a pitch, 6, patient. Patient 72, and that's a little ground ball and through the right side for a base hit. So a leadoff single for Freeman. And the Mets are going to bring in a new pitcher. It is going to be Seth Lugo coming in. And let me just quickly check. We're going to pull a, you know what? We're not doing that. Seth Lugo's coming in for an inning. He is going to face Josh Donaldson with a runner on and nobody out. 5. That's Patient. Patient 21, and that's ball 4. First and second, nobody out. Matt Joyce. It's an 8. That's a tough 44. That's a strikeout. Joyce down swinging, 1 out. Top of the 8th, 2-0 Atlanta. They have first and second, nobody out. Adani Chavarria with an 8. That's a tough 83. And that's a ground ball to short. It's going to be a force play, 6-4. And that's all they'll get. Ortega. 7 is in play, 91. And that's lifted to right field. Conforto over. Converges with Lagares. Conforto makes the catch, and that retires the side. So Lagares is starting us off against Foltynewicz, who's pitching a 2-hitter here in the bottom of the 8th. See what happens. That's a 6, a tough 64. It's a strikeout. Lagares strikes out. Nito, 6, tough 21. And that's a K. Back-to-back strikeouts. So it seems that Foltynewicz is getting a little bit stronger. And here's the pitcher. So we're going to get a pinch hitter. It's going to be the Buffalo, Wilson Ramos. Let's get a lefty. Who do we got a lefty? Do we have any lefties here? Let me see quickly who we got. No lefties. So we're going to bring in Ramos, who's going to pinch hit. Here's the pitch from Foltynewicz. It's a 6. It's a tough 92. That's lifted to left. Ortega towards the line, settles under it, makes the catch, and that retires the side. Let's get a new pitcher. Paul Sewald's coming in. Paul Sewald had a terrible game yesterday. He got pounded by the Cleveland Indians in a 14-inning loss to the Indians by a score of 4-1. Paul Sewald took the loss in that game. He did not look good, to say the least. Now, I printed out the PDFs because I didn't want to sort all the teams. So I said for $12 or $10, I don't know what I paid. I said my life will be made much easier if I just print out the PDFs, and I can always have new teams. In other words, I can always print out a fresh batch if I lose or if I dirty or if I sully. So it's going to be Paul Sewald against against Alex Jackson. Here's a pitch. That's an 8, tough 65, and that's a strikeout. And they're going to let Foltynewicz bat. He's got a 2-hitter going. So 4, it's in play 18, and that is a line shot to Panic. He's right there. Hauls it in for out number 2. Top of the order. Acuna. Let's see what Acuna's done today. Acuna is 2 for 4. And a run scored. He struck out. He's batting .279 in our replay. So there's 2 outs, top of the 9th. Mets are down 2-0. So deGrom will be taking the loss if the Mets can't come back here. Here's the pitch from Sewald. That's a 10. 10 is in play 50. And that's a fly ball right field. Conforto. Out number 3. Top of the order for the Mets here in the bottom of the 9th. Last licks for the Mets, the Amazons. Last licks. Mike Foltynewicz is going to try to go the complete game. You know what? He had no complete games. I did let him bat, and I will try to get if he does give up a hit, I will pull him. I mean, he's been dominant. He's only allowed 2 hits. So let's see what happens. It's a 5. 5 is in play. In play is a 0-6. That's line. Base hit, center field. And that's going to be it for Foltynewicz. Let's see who the Braves are going to bring in. And the Braves are going to bring in Luke Jackson. Luke Jackson is going to come in to try to get the save. If I could find Luke Jackson. Okay. Did not find Luke Jackson. The one thing with Payoff Pitch is you get every single player, which is a great thing. I love that about Payoff Pitch. You get every single player. So if you want to have an actual replay, you'll always have all the players you need. You don't have to, go beyond the standard set to get all the players. And that's one of the big, huge pluses for anybody who really likes to do actual replays. If you don't like to do actual replays, it doesn't really matter. So you can go to Stratomatic for that, because you'll never get all the players with them unless you go through a grueling process of getting all the information together. So I do not have Luke Jackson. I do not understand why I don't have Luke Jackson here in this set. That's strange. So we're going to separate the hitters from the pitchers, just to go through one more time. I got A.J. Cole, Hunter Wood. And I don't have to bring in Jackson here. It's not the end of the world. I'm not going to. Oh, you know why I don't have Luke Jackson? Because I'm looking at Cleveland. That's the team I played yesterday. All right, so let's look at the right team, and maybe we'll find the player we're looking for. That's usually how it works. Culberson pitched, so these are all the extra players. I printed out the fringe players as well. So I have Luke Jackson. Wow, that was fast. I'm a dork for sure. Okay, so Luke Jackson's coming in. Nobody out, one on. Joe Panic. Let's look at Luke Jackson's stats. He's got a 4 ERA, 3-5 record, 17 saves, 1.38 WHIP. Here's the pitch from Luke Jackson. An 8 is Patient to Joe Panic. A 63. Patient 63 is a ground ball to shortstop, and a 7 is going to be a fielder's choice, 6-4. Pete Alonso now. Pete Alonso can tie this game up with one swing of the bat, so Luke Jackson better proceed with caution. Alan Shaw, how are you? Let's go Mets. B.R. Wells is in the house. Welcome, my friend. You're joining us in the bottom of the ninth. It's 2-0 Atlanta. We're playing a 2019 game. You don't see me playing many of these. It's going to be Luke Jackson, the closer for the Atlanta Braves, with one out. Panic is on at first. Pete Alonso is at the plate. Right-handed batter. Big power from Alonso in his rookie season. Hit 53 home runs. One swing of the bat can tie the ball game up here. See what happens. Luke Jackson checks in for the sign. Here's a pitch. That's a 7. A 7 is a tough. A 0-1 is strike 3, and he blows a fastball by Alonso, who's swinging for the fences. And it's Michael Conforto, another power hitter for the Mets, and he can. One swing of the bat can tie this game. So this is lefty on righty this time. 2 outs, so the Mets are down to their last out. And Panic on at first. Here's the pitch. Luke Jackson, that's an 11. That's in play. In play 70. And that is going to be a fly ball, deep center field. Acuna back to the track and makes the catch, and that's the ball game. And we're going to just look at that's it. Look at that. This was a fun game. This was a close game throughout. And basically a pitcher's duel, something that you don't see very often. So I had a blast playing this game. And I'll give you the stats now. It's Mike Fultonavich improves his record to 4-4. Jacob deGrom falls to 14-4. Luke Jackson picks up his 18th save And the MVP of the game is going to be Mike Foltynewicz, who pitches a 3-hitter. He combines with Luke Jackson to pitch a shutout. And let's quickly look at the Mets and see. The Mets had 3 hits, one by Rosario, one by Alonso, and one by J.D. Davis. And deGrom pitched 7 innings, allowed 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, and 9 strikeouts, faced 30 batters. Lowered his ERA to 1.98, so that's fairly realistic. His actual ERA was 2.43, so he's doing a little bit better than he did in actuality. He's at 1.98, but that could change very quickly. And that's about it. So we're moving on. We're hitting exit, and it's going to take us back to the schedule. We're hitting automatic play, and that's going to take us to the next game, the next day, excuse me. So I played out, and the Mets are going to, where are they? There they are. Zach Wheeler versus Max Fried. Zach Wheeler, we're going to look for Zach Wheeler here. So that's another outstanding. Mets have a really good staff. It's fun to play the Mets because you got guys that can go 7 innings every day. You got Stroman. You got Matz. You got deGrom. You got Syndergaard. And in this game, you got Zach Wheeler. Zach Wheeler's no longer with the Mets. There's Zach Wheeler, and we're going to look for Fried, Max Fried. So it's a change. I play a lot of 70s and 80s. So when I get a chance to play a 2019, it kind of is fresh because it's like a totally different game. It's like a totally different game. It is a totally different game. It's not like a totally different game. It is a totally different game where, like, for example, in the 14-inning affair I had yesterday, I used, I think, almost 20 pitchers. And that was a nightmarish scenario, but you can go and watch that. I used 20 pitchers in a 14-inning game. Clinton Parks is in the house. Always good to see Clinton Parks. And we're playing Payoff Pitch. We're setting up for another game, game 2 of this 3-game set, Atlanta at New York. And you should come visit the stadium. Beautiful downtown Flushing, Queens. It's a brand new stadium, Citi Field. Built across the street from the old Shea Stadium. And it's only 5 minutes from LaGuardia Airport, so you can fly in and just have the car drop you off at the stadium. And I use fast action cards sometimes because I actually started playing this late at night. I didn't want to roll, so it's like I have a new dice tower. It's really noisy. And we're going to check. We're going to set up the lineup. Let's see what changes we have to make. Albies is batting second. Then it's Freeman and Hamilton. Everybody's the same. Cervelli's going to be in this one. Cervelli's going to be in this one. And Ortega's going to be a 9-pitcher hitting card. So we've got to make those changes. So Alex Jackson is out. Alex Jackson is out. We're going to bring in Cervelli. And I have Cervelli's card somewhere. Payoff Pitch is, you can get through these games very quickly. The games play very fast. So if you want to play through a bunch of games quickly, this is a great system to use. And and the great thing about Payoff Pitch, you get all the players. So if you care about that, some people do. I do. Not everybody does. Some people don't mind not having all the players available to them, and they make plenty of excuses to justify, hey, there's nothing wrong with it. No, there is. If there's something wrong, if you need it, I understand. Hey, somebody needs this, so why don't you make it, right? Why doesn't somebody make it? And I don't see Cervelli here, so I'm going to have to look into the extra players. I'm going to have to print those out. I have to print out Cervelli. Let's see. Let's grab pitcher hitting card for Max Fried, who's a 9. And Wheeler's going to be a 10. So we need and that comes in 9-10. So we're going to have to need 2 of those. Here's the other 9-10, so that works out. Pitcher hitting card is going to go into there. We're going to have to get Cervelli. And for the Mets lineup, let's see what changes we need to make for the Mets. Ramos is in. Frazier, Ramos. All right. Frazier, Ramos is there. J.D. Davis. So Ramos is right in front of J.D. Davis. Frazier, we have to bring in Frazier. Guillorme's out. Frazier's in. The Todd father, Todd Frazier, he's no longer with the Mets. You know, Robinson Cano was picked up by the Mets last year, and he's one of my favorite players. So I'm really glad. Except he's at the, he's in the twilight of his career. So Todd Frazier is right after J.D. Davis. There he is. And then it was Juan Lagares. I don't know what I did with Lagares. Did I pop him out? Did I pull Lagares out? I care about having all players. I'm notorious about it. Yeah, you are. I mean, you are a stickler for detail. I mean, you actually, you really, I think, set the bar in terms of being a stickler for detail. So, I respect that. I mean, hey, you like that? That's how you get your joy, and that's fine. Doesn't bother me. And I believe in detail. I mean, it's a great thing to have. Whether I use it or not, that's another issue. But I like to have it there in case I do want to use it. You know what I'm saying? So you and I are on the same page on certain things, which is fine. And I can't. Where the heck is Lagares? Did I pop him into the? There it is. Okay. Lagares is batting 8th, and then it's Zach Wheeler. So that's set up. The only problem I had is I don't know what I did, why I didn't have Lagares in there. Lagares is no longer with the Mets. He was a dud. Couldn't hit. Just couldn't hit. Had no power. Had no average. Had decent speed. Played a decent outfield, but in the last few years hasn't been the same Gold Glove outfielder that he was in 2014. So still at Citi Field. You got a ballpark card. It's nice. It's in color. There you see it. That's a ballpark card. I use the fast action cards as well. And I can have the dice. I use the dice as well. Oh, 6-6. That's in play. And I'm using Replay PC Baseball to track all the stats. Max Fried has a 5.2 ERA. This is his 24th start, 125 innings pitched. He's 11-8. And that's it. I have to just print out Cervelli. So I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back a little while and print out Cervelli. That'll take a few minutes. And so I'm going to check out. And this is CP Dice. Keep rolling, guys. Mets lose this one 2-0. Take care.